What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I just got out of seeing Scream 7, and in this installment in the franchise, we are back with Sydney, who has restarted her life in a new part of California called Pine Grove, living a good old suburban life. She even owns a little coffee shop, and of course, Ghostface is back to ruin her peace, but instead of going after Sydney, Ghostface's main target is her older daughter by the name of Tatum. And it's now up to Sydney to protect her from the man behind the mask wielding a knife. Now, the movie is written and directed by Kevin Williamson. And when they first announced this, I was like, I don't know. You know, Kevin Williamson is responsible for writing the first 3 films, I believe. And he doesn't have many directing credits. I think he might have one other, direction when it comes to film. So the fact that he's a minimal director had me kind of on the edge of my seat, like not knowing what to expect. But I knew, at least from a writing standpoint, the movie would hold over, because the last film that I can remember he wrote was Sick, and I like that one. So I'm like, we're good. Maybe good writing and okay directing. I don't know how this is gonna go. So I'm here to say this movie is a bit of a mixed bag for me, even though I still do like it because I am a super fan of the Scream franchise. You see, I got the shirt on right here, and the original is in my top 4 movies of all time. Because of that, I will watch this because I think it is enjoyable, but again, a bit of a mixed bag. But the funny thing is, the part that I was worrying about with the direction is not the issue here. Really, the issue falls with the writing. I think this was kind of Kevin Williamson trying to live out his original Scream 3 script with some of the things that he does here. And I don't know, it's kind of like I see where he was trying to go, but for me, it just was a little bit flat, And I think it's time to really get past Sydney and the legacy characters, because with the movie being equally split with Sydney, and you do have a gang of new characters because you have Tatum, and then she has friends, and then the Meeks are back, twins are back here. But I'm not gonna lie, man, I really don't, really care for seeing the Sydney story like this if it's gonna be the same thing. We are, 7 movies deep, and 6 of the movies are all centered around Sydney, and it's like, I think this movie would have been better if it happened as Scream 5, right? Because at that point, we never switched hands with the characters, and this could have easily just gone, right with Scream 5. And then if we would have got 5 and 6, later to switch hands again, I would like it. But it just seems a bit, rehashing of old things, jumping back into 7, especially after having 5 and 6 go a different direction and introduce a whole new cast. And honestly, that aspect of it was missing, because you don't really spend a lot of time with the new characters that they introduce. And I was actually interested, when it got to their portions, it made me feel like, okay, this is cool, I'm getting reinvigorated. But again, a lot of the first half of the movie is based around Sydney, and it is cool catching up with her and seeing where she is now, and the fact that she's living this suburban life. It almost reminds me of like Halloween Ends, where we go back with Laurie, and she's now living a suburban life after dealing with Mike again. But it's just, Sydney's life is not interesting. You know what I mean? She's just living a normal suburban life, and Ghostface coming back to rain terror upon it is just like, okay, this is the same thing that we've done, So I can't say it without getting into spoilers to talk about specific points, but I might do a spoiler review tomorrow, just because I do want to talk about the points that I didn't really rock with. And the reveal, I also didn't care for like that either, because who it ended up being was just like, again, I can't speak on that because I don't want to spoil it, but it's been so much better structured in all of the movies prior to this than it has been here. And there's a specific reason as to why it is that way. It just felt very left field, but not in a good way, if that makes sense. It was just like, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, again, I can't say it without spoiling it, but that really just fell a little flat for me. But again, what did make this movie entertaining and why I did enjoy it, and while I will watch it again, is because all of the Ghostface shit in here is A1. I don't know who showed Kevin Williamson this, or it could have been him channeling his inner Wes Craven, but his direction was stellar. Every time Ghostface showed up, It was epic as hell. The kills were creative, the setups were creative, the tension was creative. Like in this movie, when Ghostface would show up to go after people, it was extended. Like it wasn't just quick in and out. So like he would show up, kill somebody, bounce, show up, kill somebody, bounce, show up, play a little bit of cat and mouse, and then bounce. These scenes with him were stretched out, like 5-minute sequences of him chasing down whoever the person he's after, them possibly getting away, and the scene just extending on until he does finally get the kill. And it just made it so damn good. I even love how Ghostface was framed here. Certain shots in here reminded me of like 1978 Halloween, and I was like, ooh, they are snapping with this. The use of shadows and silhouettes, I was like, this is good, man. God damn. And they used the fear to prey on all of the characters that Ghostface attacks so damn well that when he's on screen, I'm on the edge of my seat because of how it was directed. Just chef's kiss there, yo. Like, I believe this movie is definitely going to have some of the best kills of 2026 because, whoop, specifically the stage sequence and the bar sequence, like, goddamn. And to bring up Sydney and her daughter Tatum, the relationship is pretty similar to, again, Halloween 2018, that trilogy, how Laurie was with her daughter Karen, but it's cool because it's kind of reversed in a sense, and that's all I'll say about it. But I think that does play a cool part in this movie, having seen what they did in Halloween. And I actually like the attempt of what they tried to do here with certain things, but again, it's really the connection of everything. The connective tissue for the reveal and people behind it and why they're doing all of this, to me, was pretty paper thin, and that's what kind of makes the movie end on a note like I said, it's not terrible at all. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and be like it's the worst thing ever, but it does leave more to be desired because it really didn't hit the same as any of the other movies when it came to that reveal. I can't even front about that. And to also turn back to Ghostface again, I gotta state that because man, it was so good because Ghostface felt like a scary entity. He wasn't just a dude showing up killing people and you want to run from him, but he was terrifying, a force to be reckoned with every time he showed up. And they do something cool each time before Ghostface shows up to kind of set you up to let you know, like, oh, you know what's about to happen? Strap in. So overall, I did have a good time watching this. It's always a good time when you can go to the cinema and see a new Scream movie. We're always quickly reminded why modern day horror films are what they are when you watch a Scream film. So I think at minimum you will be entertained, but there's possibilities of being let down because of the overall reveal and then feeling like the Sydney story is just a continued rehash. But I would definitely say if you're a fan of the Scream series, go see this please and form your own opinion. And I will say it again, it's worth watching in a theater, and I enjoyed myself still, even though there were some lackluster things. So if you've seen Scream 7, let me know in the comments, what did you think about the movie? What was your favorite part? Mine are those two kill sequences that I mentioned, just really great, and Ghostface's presence in this movie was also my favorite part. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.